Hello everybody, hope you're well. It's fireworks night tonight, so excuse the banging in the background. Quick video, how to turn the RF shield from I should say, Atari 2600 from being an oven into being a heatsink using things that you can find at Wix, B&Q, what have you. Very, very simple. Got some aluminium cross section. This is 15.5 mil box section. That's from Wix. Got some thermal paste, aka pigeon shit there, cheap stuff found in a drawer. And you might need some thermal pads. And obviously, you guessed it by now, we're just going to bridge the gap between the chips and this basically oven as it was designed. So if I open these up here. So this board sits within this shell. It goes in at an angle like this. This is the can that's been there since 1980 or whatever it was. I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but these are where the chips were. See? Burn, burn, burn. There's dark marks there. The top of these chips are probably 10 mil from this heatsink or this RF shield. And they still managed to burn it like that. I've put these heat sinks on, but this is like an oven. Seal it all up. I mean, it might get some airflow because it's got a couple of holes in the bottom and a few holes on the top, but really, I mean, this is all sealed up. It's not great. So what I want to do is I want to somehow bridge the gap between these chips and the underside of this. I've cut some strips of aluminum bar to length. And the idea here is to bridge the gap between the chips and the heatsink like that, and then we've got continuity between the whole thing, so we've got one big heatsink. So I've got my wristband on and I'm just going to stick this. We know that this box section is 15.5, let's call it 15.5. We also know that the top side of this board is going to sit, this thing here is going to show me the depth. "24 deep, 24 deep. How high is this chip top with the bar on it off the board? Look at that, 23.94. Let's give it another go. 24.08. Is that lucky or what? 24.01. So I think we're going to go with that. The difficult one's going to be this one because this thing's got to go on an angle and it might end up knocking it off, but we'll see how we go. 23.85. See if we can get this to actually, I'll be amazed. That's a shame, isn't it? Ah, it does. It works. Okay. We can do that. We've actually got heat transfer between those chips and this huge metal can now. So let's just get that on the CPU one on. It's got to be a little bit fiddly here because I don't want to knock that off, but you can see it hasn't come off. So I got this from Wix, 15.5 mil. Before I do that, there's one thing I would like to do, which seems a bit pedantic. But I'm just going to put some heat shrink around this cap because it could touch that. And I don't think that's a great idea. It probably wouldn't do anything, but I'm just going to put some protection around it. Just to stop it touching on there. Okay, Moment's truth. These are 1.5 mil. Seems a bit tight. Oh, it's horrible. Why has it gone all horrible? So what I think is happening here is I think these pads are too thick. And when I'm putting the board in, which is not the easiest, and doing it down, what I'm actually doing is flexing the board like that, which is pushing this section here closer to here and making the gap at the bottom thinner, which is why I'm getting all these chew marks, which it's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be simple. I'll take these off and I'm going to put this on. This is about a 1/2 mil patch that I found on an old, something out of a skybox. 24.4, 24.39. So hopefully that little bit will soak it up. And I can always go and get some 1/2 mil stuff or whatever that stuff is. And right away, I've got a much better distance there. We've got a much better distance top to bottom. That just feels so much better. And, okay, it's not stuck like it was before, but the board's not bending when I'm doing it up, and I'm pretty confident it's actually stuck there now. If I try and pull that, it takes a little thing to pull it. Okay, so that's really how it should be. Much, much, much better. We're not putting stress on the connector. So the post was too thin, the pads were too thick, so I ended up using this very, very thin pad from there. So this is Heatsink compound from Taiwan, and there's plenty of it. There's plenty of it. Get this to bed. So we got a pad to make like a 1/2 mil pad, if that, to make up the difference. It just goes on so much cleaner. You can just see there's a bigger gap at the bottom there. And the pigeon shit is holding it. Look at that. The pigeon shit's holding it. So there is no doubt we've got a proper thermal interface between those box section and the top of this can. This whole can is now the heatsink. So there we go, she's all back together. I'm feeling a lot cooler now. Obviously I've put a little heatsink on the 7805. I've you know, wire brushed these switches and made them all nice and even. I put the composite mod on. I'm not going to cover that because there's been thousands of videos on these units, but hopefully this one will go on for a lot longer now. Also gave it a bit of the orange pen treatment, which, if you don't know that, I got that off of Mark Fix's stuff. I'll link it in the description, not my idea. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Take care and see you all soon. Cheers, bye.